What is up, people YouTube? It is I, the Number 17, or you can call me Vinny, and today we are taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Ant-Man Civil War. Anyway, this figure is actually pretty good. I like it. Now anyway, how about you? Would you want to add this figure into the collection? Well, let's not waste any more time and take a look at the figure. In terms of sculpted paint apps, it is great. The paint job is spot on, and the sculpt, they really nailed the likeness on the figure, and it definitely looks like an Ant-Man from the movie. First, we look at that helmet, and as you can see, it looks awesome. The silver paint app is really nicely applied on here. The paint job, for the most part, is nice and clean. You can see the red throughout the helmet, not to mention the translucent red in the eyes. That is a nice touch, and I'm glad that they included that. Moving down to the body, as you can see, it has that jacket texture that the suit actually had. You may notice that there's a minor inaccuracy with the paint. These parts of black should have been lighter, while the other ones all over the body should have been more black. But, you know, that's only minor, nothing major, and I really don't mind it too much. Look at the arms, they have applied the silver paint up and the red paint up nicely, and as you can see, the paint job for the most part is nice and clean. Sculpt continuing onto the legs, keeps going on, you get that jacket texture, like I keep on saying. The silver paint up is once again nicely applied, nice and clean. I barely have any paint slop at all. For the most part, it's nice and clean, and the sculpt, once again, is nice. And here we go, we have a look at his backside, where again, the details are nicely applied. So sculpted paint apps is definitely nice. Looks just like Ant-Man, paint job is awesome, nice and clean, and sculpt, again, fantastic. I'm definitely giving them an easy pass. In terms of articulation, he is pretty damn posable. So, let's get started. Here we go. Alright, so, the head, it is on a ball peg. You get pretty good range of movement out of that. Neck is on a ball joint. Arms have a hinge on the shoulders. But like Batman, they don't let it go out all the way. But it's not as bad as Batman, since you could get them on a 90-degree angle, so it's not too bad. Biceps swivel. Get double jointed elbows, way more than 90 degrees, so that's good. And ball hinges on hands. We get a diaphragm joint. Get some minor gapping, but it happens. Decent range of movement. Waist swivel, but it's also on a ball joint. Can't really get it to go too far, but it still works. Legs are on ball joints. Go all the way forward. All the way back on an angle, but still, it works. We can get the splits. Hasbro, you are once again pathetic. We get the pull down style Figuarts hinge, and like the newer Figuarts bolts, we get a thigh swivel. It's kind of stiff, so be careful. Knees, double hinged, great range of movement. Feet, we get our ankle rocker. It's not prohibited at all by the flabs. A foot hinge. The foot can also swivel. And we also get a pretty good toe hinge. Warning when buying this figure. These legs, when I got them, they were super stiff. The ball joint was stiff, the hinge was stiff, the thigh sole was stiff. I had to take soap to the figure just to loosen up the joints, because I did not want to stress the plastic and just have it break on me. So if you do end up having very tight joints, be very careful. In terms of articulation, this guy is jam-packed and is really fun to pose. So, articulation will also get an easy pass. In terms of size comparison, he stands just about 6 inches. Now, here he is compared to some other S.H.Figuarts figures and other figures from other figure lines. something that has disappointed everyone ever since the figure first came out was the lack of accessories. I mean, I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off for saying this, but to be honest, he's Ant-Man. He really doesn't need to come with a whole lot, and I think what we got is good enough. And I probably just pissed off a lot of people for saying that. Well, you know, let's take a look at the accessories, because I think they're okay. First are the open palm hands, and as you can see, paint job and sculpt is rather nice on them. It's rather nice. Not bad. It's not bad at all. It's good for Ant-Man because, you know, he does a lot of jumping with his hands open. Yeah. My favorite accessory is this extremely small Ant-Man to make it look like they shrunk. And as you can see, for what it is, it's rather nice. Yeah, it is small, and just to show you how small he is, he's not even an inch tall. He's only a half inch. Not even an inch tall. This is a really small figure. Just be careful, you really don't want to lose this. And paint job, not horrible. I mean, it's small, there was only so much you could do. So, there's no paint details on the back, which is disappointing. So on the front is where most of the pictures will be taken. It has that base, so you need to like edit that out if you're doing toy photos or something. Still, I think this little Ant-Man stand is not only funny, but it's also pretty. It's pretty. I don't know. This is my favorite accessory. I don't know what it is. Here he is compared to Ant-Man himself. And this is. I should point out that this is actually in perfect scale. Perfect scale. With your average size Godzilla figure. I can't help it. I love this accessory. So what's the final verdict on the S.H.Figuarts Ant-Man? This guy is awesome. The lack of accessories is a turn-off, but I don't think it completely ruins the figure. It's more of a trade-off because the sculpt and paint apps are pretty good, as well as the articulation. I honestly recommend this figure a lot. Just find them on sale, because I know the lack of accessories does not make it worth the price. But other than that, I recommend this figure, like 100%. This is actually, in my personal opinion, one of the best Ant-Man figures out there. And he could be contender for my top 10 best figures of 2016. But we'll see what happens until then. With that being said, I am DeMarBro17, and I am out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. I will see you all in my next video. Peace.